Welcome to Drive the Daf, clear, structured explanation of the daily Daf in 20 minutes. You can even follow in the car.
Taanis Daf has two primary discussions. First half of the Daf is discussing the 5 events which historically took place on Tisha B'Av on the 9th of the month of Av. The Gemara will try to find sources how we know that each of these 5 things took place on that day. The Gemara will briefly discuss some of the things which occurred on Tisha B'Av, and then the Gemara will get into the halachos of the month of Av and the week of Tisha B'Av. The Gemara will have 2 machloks in Amoraim as to how those halachos apply, and the Gemara will determine each one. So the Gemara begins. First of the 5 things which occurred on Tisha B'Av was that we'd seen that it is the day that Klal Yisrael sent Meraglim. It was the day that the Meraglim returned, and the night they returned was the 9th of Tisha B'Av. That means that they came back on the 8th of Av. The 9th of Tisha B'Av they cried, and the next day, which was the Tisha B'Av itself, they were decreed that they were not going to Eretz Yisrael. All those people who were alive at that time would all have to die in the Midbar. So the Gemara says, how do you know that this event was the 8th of Av, the evening of the 9th of Av, and the 9th of Av? How do you know all that? So the Gemara brings Psukim. So we first established that the spies were sent in the 2nd year of the departure from Mitzrayim. So first of all, we have the pasuk which says, "Vahi b'chodesh harishon b'shana hashenis b'achad l'chodesh." It was on Rosh Chodesh Iyar it was on Rosh Chodesh Nisan of the 2nd year that the Mishkan was put up. And we have a brayso that says that the Mishkan was put up, it was made in the 1st year, and it was put up in the 2nd year, meaning to say that the creation of the Mishkan was in the 2nd year, was actually assembled in the 2nd year from leaving Eretz Yisrael, and everything which took place following that happened in the 2nd year. So what are those things that took place? So the first pasuk we have describes Klal Yisrael leaving Har Sinai, and it says that it was Vayihi b'shana hashenis b'chodesh hasheni be'esrim b'chodesh. It was the 20th of the month of Iyar when they left Har Sinai. They traveled for 3 days, like it says, V'yisum me'Har Hashem derech shloshes yamim. They left the mountain of Hashem 3 days. We have a drush here along the way. Me'Har Hashem is read as maher, fast. They ran away from Har Sinai like children running out of school. The Gemara says elsewhere, and it was the beginning of problematic behaviors. So the first thing was the asafsuf. And the asafsuf, we have the pasuk that describes asafsuf asher b'kir b'yisavu taiva v'yishavu v'yivku gam b'nei Yisrael. They had a desire for meat, and that entire episode took place for 30 days. They began to receive the meat for 30 days, like it says, ad chodesh yamim. So that was 30 days following when they stopped traveling. So we went from the 22nd of Iyar. We had 3 days. They left Har Sinai on the 20th of Iyar, traveled for 3 days. That's day 20, 21, and 22. On the 22nd, they began receiving the meat that they had begged for. That went for a month. That takes us to the 22nd of Sivan. Following that, it says, Vatisager, Miriam, Shivas Yam, and Miriam was locked out of the camp for 7 days because she had saras. That takes us to the 29th of Sivan, and that was the day that they sent the Meraglim, like it says, Shlach L'Chanashim. We have a brayso that says, and it was the 29th of Sivan when they sent those spies. Now, how long did they travel? That was for 40 days, like it says, Vayishuvim mitor haaretz miketz arba'im yomim. So 40 days ends. 40 days later should be the 9th of Av. The Gemara says it's supposed to be the 8th of Av because that night they cried. The Gemara says that month of Tammuz was a full month. It was 30 days long. It's usually not, but it was 30 days long. And therefore, the 40 days end on the 8th of Tammuz, not on the 40 days end on the 8th of Av, that is, not on the 9th of Av. Now, how do you know where's the source that year Tammuz was full month? So Abaye quotes a pasuk. It says, Karalai Moed Lishbar Bachorai. Karalai Moed, you called an extra day of Moed, referring to Rosh Chodesh, in order to have Lishbar Bachorai, that you broke my youth on this day. So that all took place on the 8th of Av. That was when the spies came back. Then it says, Vatisa Kal Eda, Vayidnu Kol Mayivko Am Balaylahu. That night, after the spies came back, which is the eve of Tisha B'Av, everybody cried. And it says, Rabbi named Rav Yochanan, That was Tisha B'Av night, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, "You cried for no reason. I'm going to give you a very good reason to cry for all generations on this day," and that is why that was the day that was set aside for destruction and despair forever after. Okay, so now we know that the spies came back on that day. How do we know that the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed on that day? As far as the first Beis HaMikdash, the Gemara says we have contradictory psukim as to what day the Beis HaMikdash was burned. One is in Sefer Yirmiyah, one is in Sefer Malachim, describing the destruction by the Babylonians, by Nebuchadnezzar, sent by Nebuchadnezzar, and it says in one source it says it was B'chodesh HaChamishi B'Shiva L'Chodesh, it was on the 7th of Av, in the 19th year of Nebuchadnezzar, and the other one says it was B'chodesh HaChamishi B'Osel L'Chodesh on the 10th of Av, in the 19th year of Nebuchadnezzar. So which is it? So we have a price that reconciles the two. It says that they came into the Beis HaMikdash on the 7th of Av. They looted and burned and destroyed 7, 8, and 9. Towards the end of the 9th of Av, they set fire to it, and it burned the end of the 9th and most of the 10th of the month of Av. Based on that, Rabbi Yochanan said, had I been there at the time that they set up the Taanis, I would have said we should have fasted on the 10th of Av, not on the 9th of Av, because most of the burning took place on the 10th, but Chachamim disagreed because the day that it began to burn is the worst day, and therefore we fast on the 10th of Av. That's important to note that the Navi, when he said that there's a fast on the 10th of Av, he only said in the month of Av. He didn't say which day, and therefore it was up for discussion which day it should be, the 9th or the 10th. Now, that's the first Beis HaMikdash. How do you know that the second Beis HaMikdash was destroyed on the 9th of Av? So the Gemara quotes a brisa that says that chus liyom zakai v'chova liyom chayev, that good things happen on a good day, bad things happen on a bad day. When the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed, it was Erev Tisha B'Av. It was when they first entered, and it was Motzei Shabbos, and it was the year after Shemitah, and it was in the shift of Kohanim of Yehoyariv. The Levim were singing Shira in the Beis HaMikdash. They were standing and they were singing the Shira. They were singing the pasuk that says Vayashav Aleim as Onam, and they returned to them their evilness uverasam yatzmisim, and in their sins they will destroy them. And the pasuk repeats the word yatzmisim, but between the two yatzmisim is when they were taken over by the marauding troops. So they said the first yatzmisim and not the second yatzmisim, and this happened in the first Beis HaMikdash and the second Beis HaMikdash. Okay, the next thing we've seen in the Mishnah that happened on a Tisha B'Av is the destruction of the city of Beitar. Gemara says that's a tradition that we have that took place on a Tisha B'Av. And the last is that the city of Yerushalayim was plowed over by Taanis Rufus, the wicked Taanis Rufus, Roman emperor. So Gemara quotes a incident that happened there. The Gemara says at the time when the decree to plow it over was given, was also the decree that Rabbi Gamliel should be executed. So a certain Roman official came and stood in the Beis Medrash and he said, the one with the nose is sought, the one with the nose is sought, and Rabbi Gamliel understood that it was him that they were going after, so he hid. And this Roman secretly got access to him, and he said, if I save your life, will you promise me the world to come? And he said, yes. He said, swear. He swore. So that Roman jumped up on the roof and died. And the rule in Rome was that if a decree is instituted, and one of the people who institutes the decree dies, the decree is cancelled. Since this official was one of the ones at the institution of the execution order against Rabbi Gamliel, he therefore by his own death caused it to be cancelled, and Rabbi Gamliel was saved. As a baskol, a voice came out of Shemaim and said, this official is prepared to the world to come. Okay, now the Gemara quotes a brisa that discusses when the Beis HaMikdash was burning. It says groups of young Kohanim, Pirchei Kohuna, took the keys of the Heichal in their hands and went up to the roof. And they stood out and said, Rebbeinu Shalei, the master of the world, since we were not merit to be good caretakers of the Beis HaMikdash, let the keys be given to you. Threw them upwards to the sky, and a form of a hand came out and caught it. They jumped off into the fire. And about them, Yeshayahu says, the Nevuah in the Sefer Yeshaya says, Masa Geichizayon Malacha Efo Ki Elisa Kuach Lagogos, the vision of destruction that they all went up to the roof. Teshuas Moya Ir Homia Kirya Aliza Chalalayach Lo Chalalay Cherev Lo Masei Machama. The city which used to be full of commotion and happiness is now destroyed, but its children were not killed by the sword or by war, and that's because they jumped off the roof. And says the Gemara, also Kadosh Baruch Hu said hesped on them, and he said Mekarker Kir Vishaya El Hahar, mourn and wail to the mountains. Okay, refer now back to the Mishnah and continue discussing it. So the Mishnah said, Mishanichnas Av Mimayat Misimcha. When the month of Av comes in, we stop, we limit our happy activities. Markotz Rav Yehuda, son of Rav Shmuel Bar Shilas, in the name of Rav, who says that just like we decrease happiness during the month of Av, we increase happiness during the month of Adar, because Adar is a happy time, and therefore anyone who has a court case with an Achri should keep away from him during the month of Av because he has bad mazel at that time. Instead, he should try to be around and have the case be scheduled for the month of Adar when he has good mazel. Now, having quoted Rav Shmuel, Rav Yehuda, Breder Rav Shmuel Bar Shilas, in the name of Rav, the Gemara quotes two more things that he said. First of all, on the pasuk describing the Klal Yisrael being exiled to Bavel, it says, "Lasis lechem achras of tikva," to give you an everlastingness and a hope. So he says that refers to the date trees and the flax. Since there's a lot of dates and flax in the region, that gave them something to eat and something to wear. So that was giving them hope. And the other thing is, when Yaakov met Yitzchak to take the brachos, Yitzchak said, "See, the scent of my son is like the scent of the field, blessed by Hashem." So he says it was the scent of a field of apple trees. Okay, another Gemara gets into the actual halacha. So we had seen that the week of Tisha B'Av, it's forbidden to take a haircut and it's forbidden to wash clothing. So Gemara is a machlokes. When we say it's forbidden to wash clothing, what do we mean? We mean it's certainly forbidden to wash clothing with the intent of putting on clean clothing during the week of Tisha B'Av. The question is, can you wash and put it away for after Tisha B'Av? So Gemara says that's a machlokes. Rav Nachman says you're allowed to. Rav Shesha says you're not allowed to. So Rav Shesha says, well, I'm certainly right, you're not allowed to, because the washers in the house of Rav all didn't work the entire week of Tisha B'Av. And you see, obviously they couldn't wash at all, even if they were not washing to be worn, they were washing to put it away. The Gemara has two attempts at a proof. The Gemara's first one is, what does the Mishnah say that you're allowed to wash clothing on Thursday, l'kavod Shabbos? What do we mean? You're obviously not going to wear it now, before Shabbos, meaning this is the week that Tisha B'Av falls within this week. So Shabbos is after Tisha B'Av. So on Thursday, because it's the Thursday that you're washing now for Shabbos, which is going to be after Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av has to be on Friday. There's no other time for Tisha B'Av to be during the week. We're assuming here that there's no Isser after Tisha B'Av, even in the same week. So the Gemara says, again, the proof is as follows. It's Thursday, Tisha B'Av is on Friday. So if you're going to put it on today, Thursday, then it's not Kavod Shabbos. So why would we allow you to wear it Kavod Shabbos? When we say you're allowed to wear the Kavod Shabbos, obviously we mean you're going to wash it today, Thursday, and you're going to put it away for Shabbos, which is after Tisha B'Av. Well, according to Rav Nachman, that's always permitted to wash and put things away, even if it's not the Kavod Shabbos. I could wash on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday also if I intend to put it away. So why is this heter only for Kavod Shabbos? So it's a proof that there is no heter to wash and put things away. It's only more because it's Kavod Shabbos. When it says Rav Nachman will not be impressed by that, he will say this is talking about somebody who only has one garment, and therefore he's going to wash it and wear it today. But it's Kavod Shabbos anyway, because it's got to be washed at some point, the Kavod Shabbos, and whatever point he's going to wash it, he has to wear it. And we're not going to let him wash it Friday, the Kavod Shabbos, because Friday in this case is Tisha B'Av itself. So we let him wash it Thursday, even though he's going to put it on, so that it should be cleaner, the Kavod Shabbos. Okay, so that's no proof, but the Gemara does have a proof from a Brisa. The Brisa says pretty clearly, like Rav Sheshes. The Gemara quotes the Brisa. First, it says that Rabbi Binyamin says the name of Rav Elazar, also like Rav Nachman, that you're allowed to wash it and put it away. But the Brisa says it's forbidden to wash before Tisha B'Av, even to put it away for after Tisha B'Av. So that's clear proof. Well, the end of the Brisa is that pressing in our area is like washing in their area, and therefore pressing is also forbidden. But flax clothing you're allowed to press. The Gemara notes, Rav Yitzchak Bar Giri said, Rav Yochanan, even though you're allowed to press flax clothing, but you're not allowed to wear them in their pressed state. So if you're going to press it, you're not allowed to wear it. Okay, now the Gemara has another machlokes, and that is, when we say that all these activities are also the week of Tisha B'Av, do we mean the week of Tisha B'Av on the days preceding Tisha B'Av, or do we mean even on the days following Tisha B'Av? Is it also after Tisha B'Av, as long as it's within the week in which Tisha B'Av fell? So it's machlokes Rav and Shmuel. Rav says it's mutter after Tisha B'Av. Shmuel says the Isser is also after Tisha B'Av. And the Gemara brings a proof. So the Gemara's proof, the first proof is from a Brisa. says the week in which Tisha B'Av comes out, it's forbidden to take a haircut and to wash, except on Thursday. Thursday it's permitted because of Kavod Shabbos. The Mishnah describes clearly, it says if Tisha B'Av is on Sunday, then you're allowed to wash the entire week because there is no day before Tisha B'Av this week. If it's on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, then you're not allowed to wash before Tisha B'Av, but you are allowed to wash after Tisha B'Av, again, clearly like Rav. If it's on a Friday, then you're allowed to wash on Thursday for Kavod Shabbos. If you did not wash on Thursday, the Kavod Shabbos, then towards the end of Tisha B'Av on Friday, right before Shabbos, you're allowed to wash. The Gemara says that Abaye cursed somebody who put himself in that situation in the first place. Now, says the Gemara, Rav Acha Bar Yaakov may also be the one who will curse him if he put himself in a situation like that. Now the Brisa continues. It says, what's the Kriyas HaTorah? So we have 3 aliyahs plus maftir. So on Monday and Thursday, the Brisa says you do 3 aliyahs plus maftir. Tuesday, Wednesday, you only do 1 aliyah plus maftir. According to Tanakama, Rav Yossi says, no, you always do 3 aliyahs plus maftir. So this is again a kasha on Shmuel, who said that you are forbidden to do these activities, the washing and haircut, also after Tisha B'Av in the same week. So Shmuel says it's a machlokes tanaim. This is one brisa that holds like you, but there's a brisa that holds like me as well. The brisa that Shmuel quotes begins with what happens when a Tisha B'Av falls on a Shabbos or on a Friday. So there is no Tisha B'Av then. You could eat and drink as much as you want, even a Suda like Shlomo HaMelech in his time. And now we get into when it is forbidden to wash and take haircuts. So we have 3 opinions here. Rabbi Meir says it's from Rosh Chodesh Av it's Aser. Rabbi Yehuda says the entire month is Aser, even after Tisha B'Av, because otherwise he would be saying the same thing as Rabbi Meir. And Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel agrees the entire thing is Aser, but not the entire month, it's the entire week. So therefore, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel supports Shmuel's opinion that even after Tisha B'Av, there is still an Isser for the remainder of the week for all these activities. The Gemara has another brisa which has the same 3 opinions. From Rosh Chodesh is Rabbi Meir, from Rosh Chodesh till the end of the month is Rabbi Yehuda, and from the beginning of the week until the end of the week is Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel. This brisa says, the brisa doesn't say. Rav Yochanan says the source for all 3 opinions comes from the same pasuk, which is in Hosea Vishbati Kol Mesaisa. I will stop all its joy. Chaga Chodsha v'Shabbata v'Chol Mayada. So Chaga refers to Rosh Chodesh. That is from Rosh Chodesh. That's Rabbi Meir's opinion. Chadash is the entire month. That's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. And Shabbata, the entire week. That's Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel's opinion. Now, how do we paskin al Chamaisa? So Rava says we paskin like Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel and Rabbi Meir, a combination of the 2. That is, we start from Rosh Chodesh, but we do not continue past the end of Tisha B'Av itself. So therefore, we have the mixture of the 2 opinions. We don't go past the Tisha B'Av, and it's not just for a week. It's all the way back to the beginning of Rosh Chodesh, the beginning of the night.
Drive the Daf is a project of the Grand Woodlands Shul and is presented by Rabbi Yitzchak Landa. Find us on YouTube or subscribe to daily emails by emailing drivethedaf@gmail.com.